Hello friends, welcome back to the fourth video of the Consumer Protection Act. Now friends, in the last video we discussed about certain important terms and the rights of the consumers. Now, when we are talking about the rights and its violation, the question will be there in our mind that what if these rights are violated? What can be done for the same thing? So friends, in this video we will be talking about the Consumer Protection Councils. Now friends, under the Act, we have three-tiered system as the Consumer Protection Councils. Now you must be having this query in your mind that what do you mean by three-tier system? For having the check and balance in the justice, it is very important. It became very important for the state or rather the country to create the authorities in such a way that any dispute at any level should be resolved or rather it must be resolved with regard to the protection of the rights of the consumers. So, keeping the same objective in the mind, the following authorities have been made. So friends, let's get started with the discussions of the Consumer Protection Councils. The Consumer Protection Councils under the Consumer Protection Act is falling under section 4, 5, 6, 7, 8A and 8B of the Act. So, rather, for further moving on with the provisions with regard to the Consumer Protection Councils, it becomes very important for us to understand that with what objective these councils were created. So, friends, the objectives of the councils which has been mentioned under section 6 and applicable at all the levels. Let's get started with section 6 reading. As you can see on the screen, the objectives of these councils is to promote and protect the rights of the consumers as the first, the right to be protected against the marketing of the goods which are hazardous to the life and property. B, the right to be informed about the quality, quantity, potency, purity, standards, price of the goods to protect the consumers against the unfair trade practices. Then right to be assured wherever it is possible and to have the access to an authority of the good at competitive prices. Then the next is the right to be heard and to be assured that the consumer's interest will receive due consideration at the appropriate forums. The next is the right to seek the redressal against the unfair trade practices or unscrupulous exploitations of the consumer which is happening around in the market. And the last one is the right to have the consumer education. These are the general rights or rather the objectives with which the different three-tier councils has been established. Now, along with this, the state and the district council has one more responsibility to fulfill. The same responsibility is that they should be able to protect the rights of the consumers at the level that they are acquired with. And along with that, to promote the rights or rather the education and to spread the awareness for the consumer education at large. Now friends, for understanding of the sections, you will be able to read the whole section and understand that who are the members of this like councils and what are their tenures, etc, etc. What is more important for us in this video is to understand the different aspects of the compositions of these councils. So if we are talking about the compositions of the councils, as you can see on the screen, there are three tiers as I stated. The Central Consumer Protection Council, the State Consumer Protection Council and the District Consumer Protection Councils. Now all these councils are having certain members which will form the whole authority. They will be having the meetings as stated under the Act. They will be working towards the objective as stated under section 6 of the Act, and they will be fulfilling the duties and the requirements to protect the rights of the consumers at any level, at any stage. As with regard to the same thing, the authorities are being established. Now as you can see on the screen, the Central Consumer Protection Council will have the members as the chairman, the vice chairman and other such members. The meetings of these members will be there at least once in a year. In the same meeting, they will be discussing about the issues that has been arised or rather any steps that needed to be taken for the protection or rather for the fulfillment of the objective of the act. The next is the State Consumer Protection Councils. The State Consumer Protection Councils, my friends, of course also contains with the members as the chairman, other members prescribed by the state government, up to 10 members which are nominated by the central government. The meetings of these members will be there at least twice in 1 year. The next and the foremost important councils will be the District Consumer Protection Councils. The members of the District Consumer Protection Councils will be the chairman, other members as prescribed by the state, as we all know, and their meeting will again be there twice in 1 year. Now, why did I stated that the District Consumer Protection Councils is the most important one? Because friends, when we are talking about the district councils, we are talking about the downtrodden people who are living in such area where they are not aware about their rights, which needs to be protected as a consumer, where they do not know that what are their rights or rather what availability they have as a consumer, whether they can be termed as a consumer, if they are being cheated, then if they should be going, if they want to go to any authority, where they should be approaching, etc., etc. That is the reason the District Consumer Protection Council's works becomes very, very, very important. The meetings of these councils will be as per the chairman of each respectable councils decides at the time and the place as decided by the chairman of the council. Now friends, what they would be working on? They would be working on the objective, as we know, as provided under section 6 of the Consumer Protection Act. Section 4 and 5, they talk about the Central Consumer Protection Councils. The next section, which is section 6, talks about the objective of the council. The next section, which is section 7, will be talking about the State Consumer Protection Councils. And then friends, section 8A and 8B will be highlighting the District Consumer Protection Councils. So these are the whole composition of the councils which are there established under the Consumer Protection Act. So friends, before we move on to the next topic, let's get a quick revision of what we did till now and what you should be keeping in mind while you are learning the Consumer Protection Act. So friends, you should be keeping in the mind whether who can be termed as a consumer, who can be termed as a complainant. If you are making a complaint, what all are the requirements that you should be fulfilling before filing the complaint? Where you should be going? What are your rights as a consumer? Then what are the liability part? When we are talking about the liability, do not miss out the point of the negligence which we talked about. Now, it becomes very important that these protections are being given to the consumers. If they are not, then the compensation will be provided. Now we will see in the further videos that what kind of compensation or what are the remedies if their rights are violated. Friends, keep one thing in mind, that the councils are restrictive only to the working towards the goals that has been set under section 6. They do not interfere with the redressal agencies working. The redressal agencies, of course, which has been established under the same act, they work for the different objective. So friends, let's move on to the next slide where we will be talking about the consumer dispute redressal agencies. Till then, keep studying, keep learning. Take care.